Hello, my dear students. This is Dr. Donna Rai, and this is my third lecture on classification of assessment. And here I'll be talking about based on nature of interpretation, which is norm referenced and criterion referenced. So first, let's talk about norm reference tests, which is NRT. And here this assessment lets a teacher to compare students' result with someone else's result in the classroom. Okay, and a teacher here is allowed to make a group of students of similar cohort, those students who are having similar kind of characteristics. Teacher makes a group of these students and he or she compares others achievement with these students. So a norm is set by the teacher based on the achievement or the characteristics of a set of students. Okay, a group of students. For example, top rank holder. In a class, there may be one or two students who are top rank holder. So here the teacher will compare others' performance with this one or two top rank holder. Here the teacher will compare each and every skills, each and every knowledge of the entire curriculum all together. Okay, so and the teacher will expect that other children should also follow the norm, should also follow the top rank holder students. And accordingly, those students will be classified into different grades. Okay, like A, B, C, or different kind of percentage. Okay, like three students are top rank holder, their percentage is this much. Then other students falls under this category, their percentage is this much. So comparison will be made. So next we have some of the examples of a norm reference test, multiple choice format. So in our exams, we see that there are questions, no, like do any 4 out of 6 questions. So such kind of questions are set in NRT, and these questions are open-ended questions as well as short answer type questions. This IQ test are also norm reference tests. These tests are used to identify learning disabilities among young children to determine eligibility of their for their special education services. So there are children who have learning disabilities. Okay, some children have very mild learning disabilities. Some children, their learning disabilities are very much obvious. So these IQ tests will determine the extent of their learning disability, which will help the teacher to identify, which help the teacher to place these children into their curriculum. Like those children who have mild learning disabilities, they can be placed with other students in mainstream education. Those children who really need special services, special educations, and special guidance, special teachers, they are placed into special education, special schools. And these days we have inclusive education. So some children who can cope up with normal children, not children without disability, they are placed in inclusive education. So next examples we have California Achievement Test, Iowa Test of Basic Skills, Stanford Achievement Test, and Terra Nova. Also SATs and GREs are types of norm reference test. So next we have Criterion reference test. Let's move a little bit above. Okay, criterion reference tests. So criterion reference tests are assessments that are designed to measure students' performance against a fixed set of predetermined criteria or learning standards. So, a criteria are determined already here. So, a student has to be able to perform task, able to fulfill the criteria here to get through the test. If the child is not able to perform a particular task, predetermined task, then the child will not be able to, move ahead. So, for example, a student who has completed primary schooling. So, it is expected from those students to perform certain tasks like sentence making, language proficiency, also mathematical tasks, those simple mathematical tasks, some kind of rhymes, um, personal hygiene, and all. Those kind of skills are expected from these students to be performed appropriately. So, a certain criteria is set, are set. Okay, um, then here not the entire, this is unlike non-reference test where the entire skill, the entire curriculum are assessed. Here only specific skills are checked, specific skills are assessed, but these skills are to be taught in a course, academic program, or academic program. Okay. For example, there is example here, like driving class. So what happens in a driving class is here in our state, when you take this class, you are first given the task to to learn the skill of balancing steering wheel. That also you are they ask you to sit beside the driver, and you just have to handle the steering wheel and learn how to balance it. Okay, that is one skill. And you will you have to do this task for several days, um, and they have a certain number of days, and you have to learn this skill until unless you become you know uh, good in balancing steering wheel. You are not allowed to move forward, allowed to move ahead. Then after a certain time period, when you are able to balance steering wheel, you're allowed to sit on the driving seat, and you're given classes to learn how to adjust, how to put gear, all the gears without looking at it. And apart from that, you're also taught to use clutch and accelerator and brake. So one skill at a time, one skill at a time. Okay, and when you okay, and after this again you have to undergo theory classes of this driving course. Then after that you have to take test. Okay, so in the test all your skills are judged one by one at a time. Okay, they will see your steering wheel, balancing of steering wheel. They will see how much you can um, drive efficiently. They will ask you to move your car backward without sticking out your head from the window, and they will see whether you can shift gear without looking at it, or how you are going to start a vehicle and accelerate it, brake, all everything. One skill at a time they check. And if you fail to perform even a single task, you are not given license. But if you are learning fast, you know uh, that means you are a very good learner. You can do it very properly, correctly, before time, and you are given license. So here also the expected standards has to be met by the learner. okay, be it in academic scenario or in any other vocational courses. For example, another example here we can cite from a dancing class or music class or anything like that. Okay, so accordingly, whoever does the skills properly, uh, specific skills, every skills one by one, they are higher scorer. So here also some of the examples you can see that examples of questions, multiple choice questions. Okay, just like in a norm reference test, true or false, open-ended questions, and there will be combination of questions here, and individual teachers may design the test for use of, yes, since it is meant for or meant to check specific skill, so for a specific course only your questions are set. Okay, also sometimes experts are assigned to construct questionnaires for a company or for to run a state, to run a country, like what kind of questionnaire you need, what kind of skills you want to see developing in any individual. So CRT can be of high stakes as well as low stakes. So let's move ahead and check the differences between NRT and CRT. You can see here dimensions, purpose, the first dimension. So to rank, this first dimension is to, I mean, the purpose of NRT is to rank student with respect to the achievement of others in broad areas of knowledge, to classify, to rank, and to classify students based on their broad areas of knowledge and to discriminate between high achiever and low achiever, whereas the purpose of criterion reference test is to check students specific skills, whether they are able to fulfill or learn that particular skills or particular concept or no. Content. So here broad skills are covered, broad skills given in broad skills or broad knowledge given in a textbook or syllabi are covered, whereas here only specific skills are covered at a time, and each skill is expressed as an instructional objective. So one objective at a time, one objective of one instruction is to fulfill that skill, to complete, to perform that skill. So next is item characteristics. So here a skill is usually tested by less than four uh, items. There has to be only three or four items, and items vary in difficulty, like one item may be difficult or less difficult, another item will be more difficult, likewise the difficulty uh, varies. Items are selected that discriminated between high and low achievers, so based on the intellectual level or academic performance of the child, of students, the items are selected and discriminated here. Like difficult questions are performed by high achiever or brilliant students, and little lesser difficulty difficult questions are performed by low achiever students. So for every students here there are questions. So next we have in CRT where least four items, not like less than four items, has to be there. And in order to obtain an adequate sample of the student's performance and to minimize the effect of guessing, because least four items, not less than four items, because these items will help to sample out or help the students to properly perform all the tasks, so that students will not um, guess the answers of the questions. When you have to do only one out of four, you will guess. Okay, but when you have to do all four, minimum is four, then there are no option to guess. You have to do. The items which test any given skills are parallel in difficulty. So since here it is not based on like a difficulty level, here since the child has to perform one skill at a time, so that situation itself is a difficult situation for the child. So next we have score interpretation. Okay, let me just move to the previous page. Okay, each individual is compared with other examinees and assigned a score usually. So after comparing one individual with another individual, okay, then the marking is given. Marking may be in percentage, grade, A, B, C, D, or in classification. And these interpretation and this scoring are interpreted based on their broad skills area. Okay, next we have each individual is compared with the preset standard or acceptable achievement. So what is expected from the child, okay, whether the child is able to reach to that expectation or not, that is seen here in CRT. And also there, here also it is expressed in percentage but not in grade or star 9. Students achievement is reported for individual skill. Here it is reported for the broad area skills, but here it is reported for individual or specific skills. Okay, but here in NRT, some of the tests are meant to express individual skills of students, but most of the time it is for a broad area, but here it is specifically for specific skill.